Kal Al Yahbashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakah Kadash, all praise, honor, and glory go to you, Most High Yahweh, the name of your son, Yahawashi. And I just wanted to hit you with this real quick, that I was reading this in the book of Hebrews, in chapter 13, verse 5, and it says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, Yahawashi Yahawashi is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. And this is an important scripture in these last days, because there's going to be many things and many hurdles that get in our way of truly trusting in the power of Yahawashi Yahawashi. You know, one of the main things that's going on now is this election. This election is really getting people's minds and hearts divided, thinking that they're going to be saved by a figure that's just a creation by Yahawashi Yahawashi, to be placed in power to lead a people of a godless nation. You know, Babylonia is spiritual Egypt, spiritual Assyria, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. There's no righteousness here. The laws of the Lord is not put out there as the forefront of what we govern ourselves by. So it says, let your conversation be without covetousness, because there's many things that you can try to covet on and hold on to, you know, especially, you know, here in America, because it's the land of coveting. It's the land of pleasure. It's the land of give me what I want. It's the land of just do it. It says, and be content with such things as ye have. And I want to look up that word content. The apostles and elders of Great Millstone taught us to look up words. I always like to remind you that this Blue Letter Bible is free online, and the Old Testament was translated from the Hebrew. The New Testament was translated from the Greek. And the Greek word for content is Strong's G714, and it's archeo, and it says to be possessed of unfailing strength, to be strong, to be suffice, to be satisfied, to be enough to defend, ward off, to be contented. So when you're content, you're not really concerned about all the different devices that are out here. You may participate in certain things, such as we have to, like the defense of money, your responsibilities that you got to take care of, work. You got family. You know, if you got a wife, you got to take care of her. You know, if you got children, you got to take care of them. But all these different aspects of life, you don't covet, because you're trusting in Yahawashi Yahawashi. If you keep on going into the root word of that is G142, and it's Airo. And it says to raise up, elevate, lift up, to raise from the ground, to raise upwards, to draw up a fish, to take up oneself and carry. It says to bear away and being raised, carry off. So you see, you bear with the things that you have to experience, but you don't let them become your focus. You don't covet them. Go back to the scripture. It says, be content with such things as you have, for he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And you got to believe this. You know, you can't just be saying these things. You know, the token thing about America is we always like to say these token phrases. You know, we always like to hold on to these different quotes. But do you actually believe the quotes that you're actually saying? Especially the ones that's coming from the scriptures. It says, so that we may boldly say, Yahawashi is my helper. So Yahawashi Yahawashi is your helper because you totally trust in him. You're not coveting in the things of the world. And it says, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. And that's the biggest thing, not having fear of whatever may come about just because you're holding on to Yahawashi Yahawashi. Because you have to remember that, you know, we'll follow Yahawashi. Yahawashi had to go through everything that he had to go through. There was nothing easy about his walk when he came in the fullness of the Father. He had to go through all the experiences, and he had all the power. He could have easily just, you know, turned on that power and slew some people or did what he had to do just to get by with things. But he endured everything for the sake of his people, Yasharala, Israel, and particularly the Holy Elect. If you go over to the book of Deuteronomy 16 and 19, it says, thou shalt not rest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons. So look at that word rest. The word rest in the Hebrew is Strong's H5186, and the word is naphah, and it says to stretch out, to extend, spread out, pitch, pervert. So you're not supposed to pervert the judgment that the Father's going to have on people who don't follow what he say. Those people that still continue on to celebrate these holidays, people that still want to continue to believe in the white JC, wear crosses, still live their life like they're a so-called Christian, but they don't realize that the Christians was just a name that was given over to the disciples, the real followers of Yahawashi. The word Christian comes from the Jesus Christos, and that's an idol. And it says to bend, turn, incline, to turn aside, bend, bow, to be stretched out. You're not going to be turned from your belief in the judgments that the Most High has given us through the scriptures. You're going to hold on to them. It says, thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons. It says, neither take a gift for a gift, those blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. Let's look at that in NLT. It says, same scripture in the NLT, it says, you must never twist justice or show partiality. Never accept a bribe, for bribes blind the eyes of the wise and corrupt the decisions of the godly. And you see, when we take these bribes, when we take these handouts, when we take these things that people are trying to offer us as just to blind us for a second, just as Satan does, Satan does, to most of our women. They love the shiny things. They love to have things that go well all the time. They love to be helped out. They love to not trust in the man, and that's the challenge, And they show partiality towards those things. That's why a lot of them are voting for Kamala now, even though she's not even a black woman. She's from the lineage that we see, she's a so-called small hat. It says, never accept a bribe, for bribes blind the eyes of the wise and corrupt the decisions of the godly. Our women could be godly, if they trust in Yahawashi and follow in the order. But because they don't do that, they're going to be blinded. And they're going to have to pay that punishment. They're going to have to, that justice is going to be cast on them. You go over to the book of Psalms 119. That's my last scripture. In the book of Psalms 119, Slakia, let me find where I was at. It's Psalms 119:36. It states, incline my heart unto thy testimonies and not to covetousness. So we got to hold on to the testimonies of Yahawashi, especially moving closer and closer to these moments where that MOTB, that micro CHIP is going to be instituted. A lot of people are going to give into it willingly. Some because they're going to think, they're going to think it's going to be some miracles attached to it, such as, they're already implanted in some paraplegic people who don't see well, people who don't hear well, and it's presented by Esau, so-called white man, as a miracle worker. Just as Trump is presented as the one that's going to fix everything. So all these things, are going to be presented in a way to cause people to covet them and want them. In a general sense, a logical sense, who would want a microchip put in them? But if it's going to be presented where you get some money behind it, whether you can't eat unless you get it, whether you could have some kind of special power, people are going to jump for it, And the so-called white man, he always has been that way. He's always been the one that tries to be the hero, And like I always like to say, it's not a black and white thing because, some Israelites are going to look like the so-called white man, but their spirit's going to resonate that they hear this truth. As you see today, a lot of their own people that look like them, are turning against the elites. They're turning against the powers that be. That's why everything is set up for a civil war right now. So we got to continue just to, trust in Yahawashi, incline our ear to his testimonies, what he's brought to us through prophecy, because the prophecies are right there in front of us. Everything that the apostles have taught us from the Great Millstone, have been happening, and they've been teaching this over 40 years. Before that, Abba Bivens. So, this is not a new awakening. This is not something that just popped up. We have some Israelite camps and some Israelites that, some Torah only, some New Testament only. We have some, some that say they got to keep the law completely to be saved. And, all these different things are not part of the scriptures. We got to follow the scriptures, and his testimonies exactly the way he say. His faith in Yahawashi is going to get you delivered if we just try to keep the law to the best of our ability. And that's the best we can do, because nobody can keep that law. But if you just look at his law and you still go left and you don't care about the sin that you commit, then you're going to be judged. And that's going to happen to 2/3 of our people. They're going to be destroyed by this nuclear fire that's going to come over here, shot by the enemies of the United States along with the allies that are going to click up with them. And it's happening by the moment. If you're not paying attention to the news, pay attention, because you'll see the different countries are switching sides by the minute. Big countries such as Turkey are turning on NATO. Why? Because they're trying to click up with the Russians. And the whole thing about all that going on over there and over here, it's all these countries are run by Edomites. You got to do your history. Jake don't like to look at history. They don't like to do no research. And Google's right here. You can just Google a lot of things these days. You could just, people got Alexa, people got all these different Siri and all these different things, but they don't even use it for what they should be using it for, to get this information on these last days, because it ain't going to get no better. It's only going to get worse. And with that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, double honors to all the apostles, elders, teachers, preachers, priests, the bishops of Great Millstone that came before me, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who were taught by their apostles and elders. And Shalom, peace be to you, to his holy elect. Till next time, Yahweh willing.